This year I've played a lot of older FIFA games. And you know what surprised me the most? I actually found tons of fun and entertainment playing them. Most of it has to do with awesome mods that are available for plenty of older footy games. But out of all FIFA titles that I played this year, I think FIFA 17 might be in my top 3 FIFA games of all time. And what's crazy is that it's not because of mods, because unfortunately FIFA 17 has almost no mods whatsoever available for it. But what it has is excellent vanilla experience. So if you ever wanted to play quality FIFA game, but did not want to mod it or just want to jump on it on your console, FIFA 17 is the one that I highly recommend getting right now. And in this video we will talk about all the reasons why the game is still excellent football sim. But before we get into it, let me know your opinion about FIFA 17. Was it the last great FIFA for you? Or perhaps you did not enjoy the switch to new engine at all? Let me know in the comments before I have a chance to impact your views of the game with my retrospective review in this video. Alright, so first let's talk about the elephant in the room. FIFA 17 was the first game in the series released on the infamous Frostbite engine. And you know, Frostbite engine has bad reputation among football fans for years now. Many of you blame this engine for the regression that we see in FIFA games over the years. Personally, I don't think Frostbite is the root cause of the problems with the series. I lean more towards 3 other elements that brought downfall of the series. First one being the focus on gameplay to fit Ultimate Team mode. Second is the introduction of 1v1 defensive mechanics in FIFA 20. And lastly we had the switch to hypermotion technology from FIFA 22 Next Gen onwards, which I think messed up completely how players move on the pitch. Luckily, FIFA 17, despite being on Frostbite engine, has none of that BS that we've seen in future entries. This game was the perfect moment in football history where new engine made the game look quite next gen for the time, while the gameplay felt old school in a good way. So let's talk about the graphics. See, FIFA 17 was the first title on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One generation in the series that truly started looking next gen. Textures were sharper, animations more fluid, and lighting felt more live than ever before. Stadiums finally had dynamic shadows and depth. Nighttime matches had realistic mist. Player faces carried more detail and emotions. Hell, even kids reacted more realistically to movement. Crowds also got a huge bump. No longer flat cardboard clones, but fully 3D and part of the atmosphere. And the little touches stick with you as well. Mud and grass stains building up on shirts, sweat glistering under floodlights. All these reasons are why I think a lot of fans still look back at FIFA 17 as one of the best looking FIFAs ever. It nailed that sweet spot where Frostbite brought cinematic presentation, but before EA started overcomplicating animations and player movement in later years. And besides graphical enhancements, gameplay of FIFA 17 is a great mix of improvement without completely changing the formula. At its core, FIFA 17 still feels like older, pre-Frostbite FIFA games in terms of gameplay. And in case you haven't played older games in the series in a long time, or maybe ever, that's actually a good thing, because gameplay was fantastic for older FIFA games. And so the way the game feels on the pitch has this amazing blend of fluid and smooth action, while not being end-to-end arcade mess like we've seen in FIFA 22 Next Gen, FIFA 23 and FC titles. There's much more build-up and midfield battle in FIFA 17 than in future games, and I really appreciate that. You know, I actually found this game to be quite difficult and exciting at the same time. Because I don't know about you, but when I feel like the game is not particularly difficult and challenging, when I can find some patterns in computer behaviors and certain ways of playing the game that just work most of the time, then all the satisfaction is going away, right? Because it is not feeling like I earned those goals and I know what to expect. And I think because of that, a lot of football games actually become over time quite predictable. But that's not the case for me with FIFA 17. Building action here requires skill and patience. You cannot just spam driven passes to beat defenders or abuse speed on the wing to easily get past them. And so because of all of that, you have to be patient. You have to wait for an opening rather than forcing the action with 1v1 duels. But once you find that opening, situations by the goal are very satisfying. Why is that? Well, that's because new engine brought improved physics to FIFA 17. The behavior of the ball feels much better than in FIFA 14, 15 or 16, where it had these weird dynamics, like you would kick the ball and it instantly reached the top speed rather than having this natural acceleration and deceleration with time. And luckily that's not the case in FIFA 17. So I like how ball accelerates with shots here, especially on slow game speed. There are also a lot of cool ricochets in here, as defenders are actually pretty damn good when it comes to blocking your shots. These random bounces actually feel random, unlike in Pro Evolution Soccer games of this late 2010s era, where they felt rather, scripted, like once you bounce the ball off a defender, you kinda knew what to expect with this certain angle, right? And so in FIFA 17, you can score some goals of those deflections, which is really cool and it makes the whole match way less predictable. And part of what makes FIFA 17 so satisfying and hard is that the computer AI works here much better than in FIFA 16, which had issues with computer basically playing excessive tiki-taka on higher difficulties. And so here it feels refreshing to have computer actually building up actions and dribbling through your defenses. But unfortunately, as with every sports game, FIFA 17 gameplay is not perfect. It has two things that bother me. First is that the gameplay can feel clunky in how players control the ball. Like there is some jankiness to controls, especially when you're using bumpers or trying to recover the ball or when you're turning around. And the second thing is that very fast players actually don't feel that much faster than slower ones. Overall, I don't feel like there's a huge difference in skill gap between various players in FIFA 17, kinda regardless of their ratings, which is a bit of a bummer because it takes the individuality of players out of the game a little bit. And perhaps these are the payoffs for having a more grounded football experience, and none of that annoying ice skating crap on the pitch that we've seen progressively infesting this series in future releases. Still, that's something that I wish felt better in the game, so I wanted to point it out. Alright, now let's talk about the presentation of the game, because FIFA 17 didn't just look better, it sounded better as well. The Frostbite engine gave the audio mix more depth. Stadium chants felt richer, the crowd reactions more dynamic, and the overall atmosphere just sucked you in. Commentary was the usual Martin Tyler and Alan Smith duo, not perfect with their occasional robotic lines, but still the best I think I've seen in the series. I really miss them and I wish they could come back. What I also liked is that the new cutscenes and overlays made matches feel more like a live broadcast, which was really awesome. Oh, and those side commentaries about developments in the league during the match or while in the menus during your career, they were fire and they are still here in FIFA 17. Menus of the game were the typical FIFA menu, nothing fancy but functional and definitely more pleasant than those in Pro Evolution Soccer games. And going back to menus from older FIFAs makes me nostalgic now when I compare it to the over-designed, super clunky interfaces we get in today's games. Outside of gameplay and presentation, FIFA 17 also gave us a couple of notable additions to the game modes. Career mode was mostly business as usual, and that's a bit of a pity because you still had the same structure from FIFA 16, which, don't get me wrong, was functional. But I wish there was more innovation throughout the years when it comes to career mode, especially the manager one. EA, however, did add some light board objectives like shirt sales and financial goals. Yeah, it did not revolutionize anything, but I think it did at least make your manager career feel a little bit more than just, signing players and playing matches. In terms of modes, I think the real innovation came with the journey. This was the first ever FIFA story mode, following Alex Hunter's rise from a kid at the academy to breaking into the Premier League. And you know what? It actually kinda worked. I am not much of a player career type of a guy, but I enjoyed my time with Alex Hunter, even though I couldn't relate to him too much. The acting overall was solid, the writing wasn't bad for a sports game, and the cutscenes made you feel invested in character's career. You also had training drills, dialogue choices, and even relationship dynamics with family and teammates. Yeah, sure, your choices didn't massively change the story, but the mode had some heart, and I think it was pretty damn cool. So, FIFA 17 sits in this really rare sweet spot in the series. It feels like the exact moment where one chapter of FIFA ended and another one began. On one hand, you've got all the cinematic shine of the Frostbite engine, the lighting, the atmosphere, the presentation that finally felt next-gen in 2016. On the other hand, you still had gameplay that carried the DNA of older FIFA titles before EA started to overcook animations and make the game worse in future releases. And yeah, I do wish the game had a bigger modding scene with seasonal patches or some gameplay overhauls. That would have given it the long-term appeal that FIFA 14, 16 or even 19 have through their communities. But honestly, even without that, FIFA 17 stands tall as one of the best vanilla FIFA experiences you can play even today in 2025. It's a game that doesn't need fixing by modders. You just pop it in, adjust a little bit your sliders, and it delivers. Great football, great vibes, and a unique identity that later FIFAs never quite matched. So if you want to relive a moment when FIFA was both exciting and balanced, when it makes the best of old and new, give FIFA 17 another run. Trust me, it's worth your time.